Alright. So we are back. I went through and cleaned up a little bit. I went back to the ship, and we should check this out. I changed outfits. I decided to wear this chrono-adaptive outfit. I like the way it looks, and also it increases walk and run speed. So that'll be a little good. Decided to keep the helmet. And I swapped out my shotgun for this infested flechette gun. Then while I was trying to come back, I stumbled upon some primals, which are I had boldly made the claim that, oh man, this is I'm liking the DLC and the story and everything, but it's a little easy. And these primals promptly kicked the shit out of me, to where I had to use like almost 10 hits on the inhaler. But I stumbled upon this area. And this area is for the quest. Yeah, a dialogue between dead men. You found the hidden hideout of the Secret Society of Super Science Sidekicks, a fan club dedicated to pulp comic hero Archibald Excelsior. To open the hideout's door, you must find the Sidekicks' abandoned labs and search them for clues. So I am at the waste processing ravine, where Eustace Kim left his clue. So if we go to our journal and check out our codex, I picked up The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and the Colossus Beneath Tartarus, issue 4 of 4. So I'm not going to bother reading that, because I believe we'll pick up all 4 of them, and then we can read them all at once. But I also found this. Birdie Sharp's datapad. Hi, Dr. Kim. I hope everything's alright down there in the Kim Lab. Kim Lab Waste Processing Ravine. I know it gets a little smelly, what with the garbage and toxic goo pits and all, and I just wanted to make sure you're A-okay. With Virgil's blessing, I prepared a revised schedule outlining the remainder of the package's production cycle. Pardon me. You'll note that your propellant solution blocking Virgil's completion of the package's metal casing. Uh-oh. Would you maybe be able to come visit me so we can go over the timeline in detail? I'm in the little office just outside of the top-level exit from HIA. Can't miss it. Let me know. I'm here to help you. By the marvelous mustache of Excelsior, Birdie Sharp. To say I can friggin' hear them. Kinda sucked to fight.
Mess with us.
Oh, here we go.
Keeping you. Nice, Captain.
Jeez. What is that fucking sound? Yeah, there's the water is corrosive. It sucks. It's not all that bad, but I mean, it kind of sneaks up on you. I had wandered into an area where literally just being there hurt, and there was no real indicator that it was going to be like that. Like, normally, when you look at an area in a game, you're like, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't go there because that's gonna hurt. This doesn't really look like that. It's not like on Monarch where the water is like neon frickin' green. And I am burning through that. And that all being said, it's whatever. Alright, I've got through there. That's where I originally came in. So let's head back up and see where we're going. Also, we should check on where we are, what we're doing. Let's see. We need to locate the facility staff using the comms tower. In order to access the synthesis manufacturing center, we need to send overrides from 2 other facilities, the Human Inquiry and Auditing and the Chem Lab. Access the status of all that. Alright, so I need Transmission Tower Alpha to find someone who can help me breach the facilities. Definitely can't go in there. So we'll continue off of... Yeah, these are another set of them I wiped out. They're not the best to fight. They're okay. Oh, and I came across this and I didn't go in because, you know, just in case it had anything of interest.
Tell me about the production of adrenatime, Dr. Ambrose. I hear Compound X is a unique challenge to work with. It's temperamental. It must be refined under tightly controlled circumstances at tremendously low temperatures. Do you compound it with anything else? Tell me more about your refining process. Our audience is conversant in the sciences, very detail-oriented, so don't be afraid to get technical. Last time I met you, you spoke like a groundbreaker builder sprat. Why the sudden airs and such specific questions? Does your minder know what you're up to? Does he suspect you're a spy? Pardon me.
Garbage processing lab, day 1. The first day on the new job. Can't believe this. What a joy to be here. What a sudden and complete surprise to be promoted to head garbage processing officer. It would be nice if there were another officer here to teach me the job, but I guess he fell into the feed chute last week. I have made a note not to do this. Day 2. I'm starting by reading all the available notation regarding the trash compactor. If Spacer's Choice believes that I, a humble chemist, am suited to such lofty work, then I will do my best to succeed at it. Unfortunately, the operating manual for the compactor is covered in bloodstains, which does make it difficult to understand. Day 3. Compactor was making weird noises today. I thought it was a problem with the compression chamber, so I spent most of the afternoon troubleshooting with the manual. Turns out a sprat had gotten into the hopper. Day 5. The emergency stop does not work. Day 8. My arms are killing me and my back. And let's see. Yep, shoulders. Most of me aches. I thought this was supposed to get easier. I guess I'm not used to physical labor yet. I'm seriously considering microdosing with Adrenatime. Maybe once they've gotten a few more of the kinks sorted out, assuming the idiots over at the chem lab have stopped bickering long enough to do their jobs. Day 19. What am I even doing here? I'm a chemist, for law's sake. I don't know how any of this works. I'm surprised I have both arms left. Not that anyone else ever comes by the shack to notice. Day 33. I don't know why I'm bothering with the log. No one's going to read it. No one has any intention of reading it. It's pen and paper. They could at least pretend to give a flying fish sticks and give me a data log. This is sprat shit. Day 52. Today I compacted a marauder's corpse into a tiny cube of meat just to see what it would look like. I should have felt disgusted, but when I looked at the end result, I didn't feel a thing. Day 76. Is there something I'm meant to do to maintain the machine? Maybe oil it or something? Day 100. What a milestone! Day 101. Made a game out of lobbing sprats into the compactor's hopper. Gave myself extra points for the live ones. What have I become? Day 140. I wonder what it would look like to run a mantis swarm through the feed chute. What would it look like all crushed down into a tiny cube? Day 183. Got a message from the mine to come out and clean up some kind of cargo rail accident. Had to trek all the way out there just to tell them I don't deal with fluids. Morons. Day 211. Here's me at my lowest. I've been picking out some of the most hazardous trash I can find, and I'm saving it up to do something nasty to Clarence's place. Need to figure out which room is his. 231. What if I just dove in there? Law, that would hurt. Imagine how slowly and painfully it would crush my body down into juice and meat and shards of bone. Day 269. The mine crew is still after me to clean up their little accident. Like I'm not up to my ears in garbage out here. Bodily fluids are outside my wheelhouse. Any bodily fluids from compressing organic materials are just incidental. Day 279. I'm done with this log. I'm done with everything. Maybe I'll let the garbage pile up forever. Maybe it'll pile up so high it'll spill out across the canyon and drown everything and everyone. I can only hope. Alright. Let me see something. Settings. UI. I want to see something. Oh, that's better. I should have done that a long time ago. Yeah, there it is. Came upon this place by stumbling on this giant elevator. Oh, stop that. Alright. Yeah, other than that, I didn't really do much between last stream. Kind of wanted to save any story elements for on cam. I stumbled through here. I didn't go check this out yet. Well, we can see what this is in order to unlock a fast travel location, probably. More Adrenatime. I wonder if I'm supposed to be using the Adrenatime, because I've never used it before. Because it just doesn't heal the way that I like to heal things. But I find it every damn where. seem much out there. I grab this. I did not. Let's real quick. Got a nice new vending machine. Still kind of a bummer that I'm not really seeing any new, like any actual new weapons. Or armor. Good as you take a dream at a time. That I'm happy with. Very happy with the amount of new jingles. I don't know. I say I'm overall happy with it. I'm just... kind of bummed that I'm walking into like these areas and my character's still like, you know, is basically equipped the exact same way I have been. Like, it feels like I'm in a brand new area, but I'm still drudging around the same old way that I always was.
If they didn't want to tempt us, why'd they lock it up?
It's a good point, Ellie. It's a good point. Yeah, okay. I've definitely already been here. So that's not a problem. Just beyond the bridge. Whoop. Hmm? Hmm. Whoa. Easy there, loading. Oh. Yeah, so... Alright. We've been here before. Locate facility staff. One result found. Name Clarence Mosley in Byzantium. Musgrave Collection. Thank you for your diligent commitment to personnel tracking and... Whoa, that gave me a shit ton of XP. Whoa. That was a lot. It's 157,000 experience points. Holy shit. Okay. Where are we going now? Okay, so yeah, we're supposed to be going to Byzantium. Let us, while we're here, return this. So let's do a little bit of cleanup. Hello. Whoa. I mistook where I was. Yeah. Right down there.
Never seen a corporation spend this much on a place only to let it rust.
Right?
Excuse me?
Except for Monarch,
whoa.
and Scylla, and Emerald Vale. Okay, I take it back.
It's fair. They kind of spend this much on every place and let it rust.
We're doing this!
Stay away!
You got him! My kind of action! Just like that.
Mm-hmm. So many bypass shunts I have. Hell are we? Human inquiry and auditing. Haven't I been here before? Pick up all the non-unique crap. Alright. Sure I'll get that at some point. Oh. Here's where that elevator is. Neat. Oh, you look funny. Hello. Oh, shit. Tired. Alright, this should be... yeah. On this side. Means I think there should be a body with no head. Yep, there's his head on the other side. Vortex Max Ultra, monies. Reno. All kind of stuff. Eesh, this thing had some stuff in it. And there we go. Alright. I have to go see Leonora. And then we will find out where we're going from there. I don't know how much of the map I've accessed yet. Kind of just been running around. But we should be able to check on one of the other quests and at least get a fast travel to it. And if that's the case, then we will continue like that. If it's not, then we will head to Byzantium. God damn it. Alright, well.
Get off this rock.
Well, I found something. Supposed to
Still
be talking in a
smells like
different
his
way.
whiskey, his cigarettes, and that awful cologne he bathed in every morning. Here. I saved up for this just in case I needed to go out into the ruins myself. Truth be told, I'm glad I never had to use it. You didn't happen to find anything else out there, did you?
So he did, in fact, go mad and become a marauder. But I don't really want to tell her that. So I found Jerome, and it looked like he died peacefully.
Good. I should have been there for him, but I suppose he wanted to be alone in the end. Thank you for the flask. Jerome and I were supposed to live and die together, but sometimes fate has other plans. Time for me to get off this rock. Memories hang around here like a bad smell, and I could use some fresh air.
This is what he would have wanted. Go live your life.
No point dwelling on the past. That's what
I don't know, Cap. I hope she'll find some peace in this, but sometimes it's better to know the truth and deal with it.
You're standing in front of her and saying that. Jeez. Look, we got our payment. Everything's fine. Alright, so next. Journal. We can't go to HIA yet, so let's check this out. We can't go to HIA yet. So, to Byzantium. We need some kind of a card to get into HIA. And we haven't stumbled upon it yet, so once we get that, we'll head in. Annoyed that I have to walk outside just to load into my ship. Like, I can't just fast travel from in the building. So, as soon as I get out of this loading screen, we get to go directly into another loading screen. And then we get to travel and go directly into another loading screen.
Lucky's problem was that he was always overconfident in himself. But us? We got this, whatever it is.
Whatever's out here, it better be worth carrying around a man's eyeball.
I'm sure it's fine. Very curious as to what that sounds like. Hold on. I don't hate that, but I'll try not to do it. Alright. Sorry, I got mildly distracted. Which is, I know, so difficult for me. Do-do-do. Alright, back to Terra 2 for... Not going to Adjutant to Conde's landing pad, I know that. That's definitely not what's happening.
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor.
I'm guessing it's Minnie. Oh, I'm guessing Minnie wants an update. Patch her through.
Captain, imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news.
Sorry, I'm having to do something on my phone. I just got an update. Jesus Christ, I have too much fucking temporary. Alright. I'm having to... Jesus Christ, my laptop is going to break soon. Alright. Positive knife. Good news. Someone warned me to stay away from Gorgon, then lock the place down.
Someone? You mean someone still has access to the facility? Oh, after all this time. Who was it?
Let's see. Someone with an old grudge would be my guess.
That doesn't narrow it down by much, but I think you're onto something. Make sure you have eyes on the back of your head. I doubt we've seen the last of this human vexation. If I know Spacer's choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. You'll need authorization, and layers of it.
Are you familiar with Gorgon's old research staff? Or I don't suppose your mother left you any passwords or mysterious keycards?
No. I think you're going to have to rely on good old-fashioned detective work. It's a good thing you have keen senses, a reliable ship, and a very wealthy sponsor.
Does that mean you'll give me an advance on my payment? Oh, did you know that Gorgon was developing Adrena Time?
I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was Adrenatime. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time.
Were you aware that Adrenatime created Marauders?
What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea Adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about Adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late.
Why would Spacer's Choice risk everything for a stimulant?
Adrenatime was touted as the working man's best friend. A drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of Adrenatime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise.
Could one drug really do all that?
I don't know. And thanks to Spacer's Choice, we may never find out. I know that I'd like to see a colony where the promise of Adrenatime was fulfilled. And I doubt I'm the only one.
I'm heading back out. You really know your business, Minnie.
Thank you. I certainly ought to know what I'm doing. I spent years trying to break into pharmaceuticals, professionally speaking. Mother wouldn't hear of it. She didn't think I had the wit to succeed in her line of work. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes?
Aha! I'll keep that in mind. Be seeing you, Minnie. Oh no, crack your knuckles. Yes.
That's the spirit. Until next time, my good captain.
My great captain. To Byzantium. Alright, who are we taking? Old hand in Byzantium. Nyoko's not, we're not out in the wild anymore. Let's trade out altogether. Parvati and Sam. Let's go. Terror on Monarch with Ruth Bellamy as Halcyon Helen, Spencer Woolrich as Chief of the Savages, and featuring real monsters from the doomed world in 12 amazing episodes. Come on, let me in. All right. What is my reputation? Kind of neutral with the board. C&P Bourse Factory don't like me too much. All right.
Who's the sweetest boy? Who is it?
Error. Unable to process the specific customer service request. Please repeat the order.
Yeah, you are.
I'm so glad I brought the two of them. So happy. Love that music. So good.
Anti-Cleo's ketchup. Organic, vegan, handmade, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free.
That's new. That's new. I like hearing that.
Anti-Cleo's antibiotics. Take comfort in knowing that anything antibiotics cannot stop will probably kill you quickly.
Better than nature. That's great.
The dissidents actually took over the refinery. I can't believe it.
And then the chairman shot their space shuttle down with a Hammersmith grenade.
I don't care. You out of way.
I love the sound.
Is Mayfield still drinking?
Reminder, unit modifications performed by unauthorized technicians are not authorized by the parent company.
Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. Doesn't it feel better to locomote without grit in your gears?
To gain authorization credentials, an engineer must be registered as the unit's designated caretaker. Do you wish to assign yourself this designation, engineer?
You asking me to be your minder? Well, I suppose you can't be any more complicated than an autoloader. All right, I'll do it.
Updating registration. Updating. Updating. Ding. Holcomb Parvati is now responsible for the SAM unit's maintenance. Designated caretaker. There is a rock in this unit's tread. Removal of foreign debris requested.
I'm so happy I brought these two. I need to give them more time together. They're sweet. Musgrave Family Collection, go! Production and distribution. Auntie Cleo's, serving the Halcyon colony. Better than nature. Good times. Nina Prescott. Whoa. Your sign kind of fell down there, buddy. Nina Prescott.
Welcome to the Musgrave Family Collection. Still a work in progress.
Pardon me for a moment.
Do put that thing away! If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating.
Canid review. I don't know anything about a Canid review.
Exactly. You do catch on fast. Now then, how can I help you?
What's with all this secrecy? This place isn't exactly hard to find.
We find that our clients enjoy the appearance of participating in illegal activities. Secrecy contributes to a feeling of indecency.
Gotcha.
The Musgrave Family Collection was intended to be a gallery of fine art. And here we are, using this place to practice semi-legal canid shows. Scandalous, isn't it?
I like your style. You said this place was supposed to be an art gallery. What happened?
That's privileged information. I really shouldn't tell you.
And yet, I thought you were into breaking rules, doll face.
That's a fair point. All right, I'll tell you. But just keep this between us.
No promises.
The Musgraves own one of Earth's largest private collections of art and literature. They were going to have the entire collection shipped all the way to Halcyon. Unfortunately, that collection never arrived. We haven't heard anything from the delivery convoy, and there's some purely hypothetical concern that the collection might be, well...
stolen?
I was going to say indefinitely delayed by unforeseen and unknowable circumstances, but yes. Let's go with that. Anyway,
so there's a caper on our
that's
hands.
as much as I can tell you. Will there be anything else?
I'm looking for Clarence Mosley.
Mr. Mosley is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his canid Laplace into our competition. You should find Mr. Mosley just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
For anyone who's curious, I live in Louisiana, and there's totally a place called Laplace here. Alright. Anybody with a name?
Just between the two of us, I hope this doesn't become a tradition. Not looking forward to the next annual... Not looking forward to the king.
What on earth do we have here? And why is it selling me weapons in an art room? Trimmer, cleaver, hyper. Review.
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea.
You have a name. Tilda Coatsworth?
Not now, please. I'm a little too busy, you know, being the master of ceremonies.
You're not really doing much. You're just kind of standing there.
Come now, Anubis. You must hurry.
Canid handler. Milburn Hotes.
I don't suppose you've any formal training in canid husbandry. I really am at my wit's end. It's my little Anubis, you see. He's listless and miserable. I simply don't know what to do about his condition.
Could be something he ate.
You must understand, Anubis is a very picky eater. He dines exclusively on Terra 2 Saltuna, none of that rubbish from Monarch. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a shortage lately. He's so miserable without his Saltuna.
I see. Well, I've got this Spacer's Choice Saltuna. Oh, whip. Look at the poor guy. He's tired of Saltuna. Give him a proper treat.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I doubt all this excitement is doing any favors to his digestive system. I suppose I have been spoiling him with Saltuna. He could use a change of palate. Oh, I do have some limited edition Rizzo's CCN 76 chocolate bars.
No, are you out of your mind? No chocolate.
Really? I had no idea. I suppose I'll just treat him to some Spectrum Violet then. You've been a world of help. I'll leave a good word on your permanent record.
Happens. I don't care about my reputation with the board. Anybody else? Oh, no. Ooh. I can just take this money? Weird. Alright, let's go actually talk to the person.
Canids, Captain? I don't think they're gonna hurt you.
Oh, because I was running. I was like, why on earth does she think I'm afraid of the... Oh. Because I'm running. Makes sense. Wealthy citizen. Oh. This is a nice place. Okay, Clarence motorcycle. Ooh, thing. Give.
Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows?
Nope. Trick question. There isn't anything interesting about canid shows.
Oh, but there is. If one possesses an eye for statistics.
An eye, you say?
Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility.
Are you Clarence mostly?
What gave me away? Wait, don't tell me. You've read my monograph, Putting the Us in Calculus, or How to Use Mathematics to Find Your Statistically Significant Other. I'm afraid I don't really do autographs, but yes, I am Clarence Mostly.
That name sounds familiar. Mostly Fine Furniture Company, right?
Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, basically. I've been looking for you. You're the last known staff member on Project Gorgon.
Oh. Then you're not here about my monograph?
Nope.
It's true. I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed.
Well, open it back up, Nancy.
I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice. Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party.
You want me to keep living in the moment? Show me how to lift the emergency lockdown, and I'll live in the moment.
I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond with threats of violence. Thank you for resolving that ambiguity for me.
No problem, Clarence.
Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know 2 people who do.
All right.
The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason.
Project Gorgon created Marauders. You can't just walk away from that.
Yes, the birthplace of the Marauders. And a graveyard for all our mistakes. Starting Project Gorgon was our first mistake. Trying to bury Project Gorgon while it's still very much alive and clawing its way back to the surface, that may be our last mistake.
Just trying to uncover the truth. Oh, wait. There has to be a way to fix this. Now's your chance to clear your conscience.
Please. There's no need to insult me by implying I have a conscience. It's my reputation that concerns me.
Ah, God, I don't like
I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way, we don't have to rely on mutual trust.
What do I have to go get for you?
A grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have.
Pretty sure the Canid Review is already over.
Yes, but the winner is still in deliberation. Committee won't deliver a result for another 6 to 8 weeks. Bureaucracy. The trophy's being held in a vault at the other end of this hall. Find a way inside, disable any security, lift, carry, deliver. Simple as that.
Can do. It's a deal.
What, really? You'll do it? I mean, just like that?
I don't care. I want your information. You want a trophy. That's all I want. Because you're insecure and you want a trophy to feel better about yourself.
Well, you're technically correct, which is my favorite kind of correct. No, that's not why.
Are you sure?
My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to...
I
didn't bother.
That might be the most Byzantium thing I've ever heard.
Oh, you're much too...
Yes, I will do it.
The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room.
Wait here.
This is a private pub. If you're here to offer your services as an entertainer, we're not interested.
I was actually here about the Canid Review.
Unfortunately, you're too late. The review ended a few days ago. In 8 to 10 short weeks, we'll have the name of a winner. That gives us 8 to 10 weeks to file a maintenance request. Our technician barred the vault door and then disappeared without a trace.
Unbelievable. Whatever happened to competent help?
Now you're speaking my language. The Musgrave Vault contracted a security consultant from UDL. They sent a technician to install a few security upgrades. Anti-dissident auto mechanicals and the like. That technician barred the vault, but neglected to leave us with a way in from here. He wasn't seen leaving the security room, so I can't imagine where he's gone off to.
Probably dead down there. Isn't there another way into the trophy room? What about the maintenance tunnels?
The tunnels are guarded by auto-mechanical security. I don't look nearly boorish enough to resemble a UDL guard, so they'd probably shoot me on sight. In any case, I'd rather not step foot in the tunnels. The tunnels are for disposing of unwanted refuse, and no place for a respectable Byzantine.
I could find a way into the vault for you. You won't have to dirty your hands.
Your eagerness to serve your betters is commendable.
Oh my God.
Here's a key card. It should help you get around inside the tunnels.
We'll eat you
Now,
people.
was there anything else? I'd like to get back to mastering over the ceremonies, or people might question why I have this role at all.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Bye.
You'd only be letting them into Byzantium Temple.
Shut up! Okay, guys, we're gonna go fight things. Got a workshop. Take a look at that. Yeah, who'd have fucking thought? Completed. Scheduled annual sanitation and repair, Musgrave Family Vault. 1. Applied kinda pine scented floor wax. 2. Appraise area in accordance with Byzantium aesthetic standards. See HHC Board Aesthetic and Interior Regulations, Section 33F. 3. Relocated garbage. 4. Installed anti-dissonant automechanicals in order to ensure moral and civil hygiene. 4A. Note, tampering with, altering, or otherwise disabling moral hygiene automechanicals is strictly prohibited under board regulations. 5. Delivered complimentary mint.
Here they come! First one!
Centrifuge mode activated. This area has been sanitized.
Mm-hmm. That was it. That's all the resistance I'm gonna have here. Did Sam just hum a little tune? Okay. 105, and this starts at... Jeez. Yeah, we're gonna be switching to that. What do we got here? That's what Medal of Honor was. Starts at 128. Never mind. I'll be switching to this one. Assurance Straight Barrel. Magnum and Exactosite. Good. Well, there you go. I was wanting to switch out one of my weapons. We're gonna actually go ahead and tinker it real quick. Alright, just like that, we're doing a $152 as compared to what we were doing at 105. Okay. Everything else is fine. I can't modify it. Okay. Let's continue on. Improved tech kit. Improved augmented reinforcement. I don't need any of that. Improved Silver Tongue Kit, hell yeah. Mr. N. I don't need a champion toss ball stick, but I'll sell it at the very least. Oh, no music.
Quiet mode.
Can't steal anything from here.
I sure hope these folks don't mind us borrowing this.
It'll be fine. Especially because I'm not going to talk to anybody about it. All right, Clarence.
Never cared much.
I don't care. Today's your lucky day, Clarence. I've got your trophy.
My trophy! Look at this thing. Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
Kept my end of the bargain. I expect you to keep yours. Nah, fuck that. Names and location, Clarence. I don't have all day.
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry.
You already said
Access
that.
to those facilities were Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error.
Use statistical analysis to figure out their location? Show me your math.
I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a spacer's choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the two most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe.
You haven't been able to let go of Project Gorgon either.
Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
Sure. You talk about leaving the past behind, but you feel responsible.
Let me stop you there. I don't accept anything for free. And if you're going to analyze me, I'd have to go through the trouble of hiring you on contract. Think what you will of my intentions. My calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations.
Okay, then. That's all I needed to know.
Try to exercise caution. It's good for your lifespan.
Aw, Clarence. You're looking out for me.
You did fetch a trophy for my little Laplace. Technically, that makes you my canid servant. And by the transitive property of employment, my responsibility.
Jesus. Wow.
No need to sound so astonished. Now...
So I found this eye.
My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know.
Yeah, it is. It works well.
Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one. Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record.
So how'd you lose your eye?
I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no.
Noted. Can I inform you that this dude has this thing?
I've got a lot on my mind right now. Our trophy's gone missing, but I can't file an investigation because what we're doing here is...
That's good times. Anyway. Hard. Okay, so that's Groundbreaker. Anticleo's Olympus. Whole new planet. Or bye. Can I fast travel to the ship? Damn it. Obsidian does need to come out with a patch to make... I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they need to fix loading times or anything like that, because I understand that's harder. There are some issues with this DLC where, while on Gorgon, it will cause a very bad stutter, like a very bad like lag, whenever you're just looking around. Like, it happens so frequently that it did it to me while I was still in the menu. Like, there was nothing, like, I wasn't turning the camera or, like, loading any new graphics or anything. I was just looking in the menu, and it was still happening. Doom. Doom. Well, I wanna know, is this thing for sure? Whoa. Alright, where to now? We're going to Groundbreaker.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain.
Ooh.
I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note.
I'm gonna check that out, thank you. Terminal. Messages. What a handsome vessel you have, little weasel. The Unreliable, registered to one Alex Hawthorne. But that's not you, is it? You stole it from him, just as you intend to steal Gorgon from me. Perhaps I should steal something dear from you in exchange. Your ship, your crew, your life. Fair is fair, after all. Caridibus Cluster B0010-04. Where's my hack at? 85. Oh, wait, revert. We're gonna zoop, and then we're gonna zoop, and... No, I can't. Ah, shit. Load. 308. 306. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna try this out. See if I can bump my... See if I can bump my hack up to 100 and make that work. If I can, then I say we go for it. See if we can figure out who sent that. Maybe get a little lead on this mystery. Oh, these load times. Son of a bitch! Rat baskets. Hopefully there's nothing stupid like a tertiary hack requirement. Because I've been seeing some things that want you to have like skills up to 150. Though that does beg the question, can you manually raise them past 100 now, or is that just assuming that you have the gear and skills? The perks.
Someone has left a threatening message on your...
So we're going to... I want to just see... Yeah, you can totally... Oh! It says it right there. I can get up to 150 and it's a... Damn! Alright, let's check this out. Message, and hack. Hack. Alright, transmission tower alphas and Gorgon level executive. Ooh. Alright.
Welcome back. I'll be here.
Bye. Okay, Olympus is now accessible. Alright, good. I was concerned I was only going to get to go to one new planet. Hell yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. Or 2-seat. What? What is this? A whole new landing dock?
First stop at the Groundbreaker Auxiliary Base. Stay safe out there.
No promises. Alright, we're on Groundbreaker, so let's keep taking Parvati with us. Parvati's familiar with the Groundbreaker. There's no reason not to take her. Manta Queen examined. Let's see. It does seem as though she stores her eggs internally and then gives a sort of faux live birth. The manta swarm erupts from her as the eggs hatch, similar to several types of sharks. Well, they will give quote-unquote live birth. Ox docking stout. Nope. What does this quest say? Clockwork mock apple. The testing supervisor at Human Inquiry and Auditing was one Dr. Marion Blakesley. Blakesley appears to have retired to a secluded maintenance bay aboard the Groundbreaker. We need to find a way into his residence. Gardener Sprout.
Let's try being friendly. Maybe they'll try it back.
Sure. Danger. Danger.
Hey, you. Over here. Let's chat.
Ooh, your armor looks
Whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa, it's risen. Oh, fucking damn it. Every time. So, hey, you trespassing, and I'm armed. Maybe take a second look at your life choices, pal.
I like your voice. I'm looking for someone. Name him Marion Blakesley.
Yeah, I know that lady. I know she's looking for, solitude. She hired us to make sure no one comes sniffing around. Guess that's bad news for your plan there.
Yeah, and who's us exactly?
Yeah, we're the gardeners. We keep order back here on these dangerous streets. Hallways. Know what I mean? Anyway, Blakesley's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there.
Does Junlei know you're down there?
We ain't subversives. We're gainfully employed. This is a private contract. Miss Junlei can't get too mad if we rough up some trespassers. Especially if I was nice enough to warn him first.
But she might get a little steamed if you hurt her girlfriend.
Hi, I'm the girlfriend.
Oh my god, I love her.
Oh, shit. Fine, fine. You want to check out the lab? Go for it. We won't stop you. But Blakesley's got her own setup in there, and she doesn't like guests.
So glad I brought my
So,
body.
if you get shot, I'm telling Junlei I never saw you.
Fair enough.
This one's clear, guys.
Nice one, Captain.
I'm so happy that I brought Parvati. That's great.
It's like I don't know what to do with myself.
Come on, this is great. We don't have to beat up miscreants for them anymore. We can beat up miscreants for ourselves.
We want to set you up some expensive points. That's a good point.
Keep him quiet, Captain.
Oh. Well, it was just the back way into here for some reason.
You have to be kidding me. I thought I made myself click. Wait, what's with this camera? Hello? Damn it. Look, I get it. Some people need things spelled out for them. I'm sure one of the automechanicals can explain.
That's fine if you want to try and waste your automechanicals. Vending machine. I did discover a vending machine. You're selling me the ammo and weapons to kick the shit out of your automechanicals. The Ultimate Bolter 2.0. Alright. Dun, dun, dun. You could just filter in like gas in here or something. I literally wouldn't be able to come in unless for some reason this goofy ass helmet I'm wearing has a gas mask built into it, which I don't think it does, so
Clean cycle set to industrial
Nothing personal, I swear. Oh, are you handsome? Looks like you got yourself a little snack. Ugh.
I like that. I like being able to observe them. Maintenance logs. Entry 1. Memory allocation succeeded. Blah, 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 blah. Entry. Power supply remains steady, but the power fluctuations are doing a number on the auto mechanicals. Easy fix, all the time in the world. Gutted the auto mechanicals for non-essential components. Minor gains in power efficiency due to decreased weight. Waterproofing materials compromised. Human error. Alright. If I had a way to submerge them in water, that would be useful. But seeing as I don't... Group C, heretofore referred to as Clarice, continues to demonstrate increased growth and development relative to both the original and control strains. However, general mass and caloric content has not increased significantly compared to its predecessor, Horus. This suggests a limit to our ability to mitigate poor nutrient uptake with Mantipillar mulch. Personal note, Martin's getting a little big for the terrarium. A few more days and he goes into the processor. Dun, dun, dun. Nope. Can easily get that. Where am I healing? Oh. Just hearing you.
Observation log, date, who knows. Subject number, well, let's call him Percy. Percy here has discovered the secret to success. He has lifted the veil and found the pattern. He wakes up, he listens for that bell 3 times a day. Food rains from the sky. He eats, he waits. Life is easy. But the second your molt comes in, pal,
I would assume the second his molt comes in, he's not going to be as, he's not going to be as useful for study, so he's going to be gotten a lot of mechanicals in there. That's what we signed up for, so let's stealth our way in.
Unexpected.
Warps discovered. Preparing required sanitary measures.
Here they come.
Best job classification. Flawlessly finished.
Sweeping the area.
Infestation encroaching.
Investigate.
That was pretty damn easy.
That was quick.
Jeez. 138 bits just chilling in a
Are
box
you a
that didn't...
certified slob? Have your messy habits cost you friendships or worse, jobs? Buy a Sam to clean up your life. Sam can put a shine on your future.
Sam, you are a damn treasure, sir.
So who the fuck... Oh, wait, hang on, I can't hear a damn thing. Just gonna shut this thing off.
That's fine.
Right. Marion Blakesley, what can I do for you, Mr. Home Invasion?
I'm not gonna bother with the lie. My reason's on my own, but I also need your Gorgon access card.
Spacer's Choice send you? Took your sweet time. Gorgon? I holed up in a forgotten cargo bay of a rotting colony ship just so I could never hear that name again. But here you are.
I tracked down Clarence Mosley. That got me onto your trail.
That bastard. Is he still only mostly worthless, or has he achieved mathematical perfection in that regard?
He's in show canids now. Sort of.
He'll be on to the next hobby in a week. Clarence lacks the attention span for this sort of thing. Someone wants to dig up the past, and you're the shovel, right?
I'm the diamond-tipped drill bit.
Huh. All soft clay here, pal. You want to know about HIA? I'll tell you. Corporate demanded a product they could throw onto shelves. That put the squeeze on low at Chem to develop formulas. Samples. But how do you know if the product works? You run tests, see what happens. That's where human inquiry and auditing came in. I ran HIA, and HIA ran the tests again and again and again. And what happens is a whole lot of wasted time and even more bodies.
So what was your part in all of this?
Testing supervisor. I designed the initial testing regimens, managed the staff, made sense of the test results. Tried to anyway. People are complicated, and I don't just mean the test subjects. Try and avoid working with people if you can. It always gets messy.
Let's see. Any complicated people you know might have an interest in stopping me?
Plenty. Not to mention Spacer's Choice put in the legwork to make Gorgon habitable. Probably crawling with scavengers.
So what was Spacer's Choice testing for?
You've heard the adverts, right? Work day and night, still feel refreshed the next morning. Now what we tested for was dexterity, efficiency, compliance. The traits of a good employee. Numbers never came out right. I could have pumped gallons of those chemicals into every living soul in this colony. Wouldn't have changed that. What we got was marauders.
So Spacer's Choice knew about these effects from the beginning?
Yeah, good luck making that one stick. It's in the fine print, you know. Whatever was in those chemicals, it didn't matter what tests we ran. We kept getting the same results. The proto-adrena time solution was both monstrously addictive and had catastrophic effects on the psyche and intellect. A real boon to the colony.
Why didn't you stop the test?
I was a good scientist. I had to have wound up on that asteroid for a reason. I worked so hard. We all get stuck in our own patterns. Magical thinking. That was mine.
How'd that work out for you?
Regrets don't add up to much. Anyway, turned out it couldn't go on forever. Someone sabotaged the facility, freed the test subjects. Spacer's Choice wasn't getting much use out of us anymore, so they shuttered the project, kicked Adrena Time out the door. And I came here.
Can you get me inside HIA?
Indulge a scientist. What do you want out of this investigation of yours? Trying to liven up your memoir?
Someone should know what Spacer's Choice did.
Really? What good can that possibly do? Your crew feel the same? Heck of a world out here for the shy types. What do you get out of headbutting murderous auto mechanicals for your captain here?
A family. Or something near to it. We don't always get along or nothing, but what family does?
Fair enough. That's all I've got. Here, I still have this pass. Don't much feel like hanging on to it anymore. Made my exit the moment the project started falling apart. Had to steal some credentials. This should get you into the volunteer induction entrance.
You hacked into the Spacer's Choice database.
Please. I just messaged people with fake demands for their passwords. That's when they didn't just leave codes written down on pieces of paper. If I couldn't talk my way out past a simple facility lockdown, I'd be working for Rizzo's. That'll get you inside. What you do from there, that's up to you.
You're a monster, Blakesley, but I think you know that.
Be careful on Gorgon. The compound got into the air, the water, everything. That asteroid makes monsters.
This must be a step up.
What's down here? Didn't go this way. Ooh. A little rat.
You gonna shoot or what? Just wait. You'll see how a Spacer's Choice cadet takes care of, I think it's jam.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, this is very much the same as the back bays on the regular Groundbreaker entrance. Okay, so that was this way. What happens if I were to go this way? Nothing really here. And nothing down here. Ooh, except money. And potential money. Alright, back to the ship. Now to go to Olympus. Well, I have a choice. I can go to Olympus, or I can go back to Gorgon and, go to the HIA. I could do that and go ahead and finish this stream off doing that. Let's see. What we got? We in Spacer's Choice employ... Man, these the titles keep changing pretty frequently. So let's see. I would need to get into the HIA observation thing to do that. I would need to get into HIA's maintenance entrance. And yeah, let's go to HIA.
We are now in orbit above Gorgon.
Neat. Alright, so since we're going to be finishing this off, let's take that and take the only two that we haven't gone out with yet. Hope still lost. Satellite debris coupled with a trick of the light. Sightings debunked by scientists. That's new. Yeah, that's one of the first new ones that's popped up. So we're not going to end any of these quests, but we'll at least knock the next leg of them out by heading to the HO.
X Mark V queso atmospheric dome? I've never seen one in person. Magnificent.
Good. Beep. Beep. What's up, nerds? Still looking around? You doing, nerd?
Alright, let's go! Here I come!
Kick.
Well done. We're still alive.
Okay then. Alright. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Not bones. See chitin-like material, same chitin-like material as the exoskeleton. I really like that.
Now keep quiet.
Still no new weapons. Just slightly improved versions. And sometimes it's like more drastically improved versions of things. But still, like it's not... I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky. Maybe I'm being too picky. I'm willing to accept that, if that's the case.
Whatever disgusting thing this is does not bode well.
Trying real hard not to breathe in.
You may be fine? I don't know. Shunt. Shunt is one of those words that it is not a bad word at all, but it sounds kind of like a bad word.
Welcome to Human Inquiry and Auditing, the Spacer's Choice Facility. My name is Dr. Marion Blakeslee, and I'd like to congratulate you all on volunteering for this important exam. For your past, know that as of today, you'll be private
Now,
puppets out of people and tested them until they broke. Walk softly, Captain. Some of them still live here, and they hate to be disturbed.
I'd like to believe that nothing this place throws at us could be worse than what we've already faced, but I'm not so sure.
Uh-huh. I never walked softly in my life. I ain't about to start now.
shut the hell up, Felix. I like this. This feels like a horror game now. This feels like more like Bioshocky than before. This is great now. Hold on. I was bitching, but man. What is up to this one? Yeah. Oh, Felix, how do you look in this stupid thing? I'll decide. I'll figure it out. We're gonna do some looting. Man, that's a lot of ammo. They are. This is like a boss fountain. All right. Incoming messages from Blakesley. Safety protocols. In order to minimize damage to company property and/or personnel, please observe the following guidelines during the volunteer induction process. 1. Do not touch and/or handle test subject. Please defer to security personnel. 2. Avoid using inflammatory phrases or terms such as untested chemicals. Consider patented Spacer's Choice formula. Test subject. Consider valued volunteer. And cells. Consider living quarters. 3. Remind subjects that compliance is one of the requirements of their contract with Spacer's Choice. 4. Do not interrupt official Spacer's Choice communications and/or marketing while directing volunteers. Architect's balls. Is that all of the guidelines? Look, these people are coming here from Tartarus. Don't let your guard down, don't get friendly, and don't get close. If everyone does their job right, these volunteers will leave this facility as free and upstanding as citizens. Upcoming changes. In light of certain recent developments, our friends at OCI have generously provided us with advice and guidelines intended to ensure the best possible outcomes for our research here at Human Inquiry and Auditing. To that end, we will be establishing new testing parameters and volunteer preparation guidelines effective immediately. These guidelines will be provided for you to you at your stations. I really would like to congratulate all of you on what you have achieved so far. Keep your heads down and your minds focused on the work, and the rest will come easy. If you have any concerns, kindly forward them to my assistant, Benjamin Morley. Son of a bitch. Alright, re-question. Every volunteer means just that, Miss Sonoda. We're entering a vital phase of the testing process, and that means every volunteer participates in the trials. It's all the more critical that we maintain careful records of the dosages involved, of course. We're counting on you for that. Return to route. Incoming. We're all good there. Yeah. Outgoing. Help. Weaver, have you seen my office key card? If this is one of your little tests, it's not funny. Security is almost at full burn. They're going to lose their bolts when they catch me taking the long way around the faculty areas. Please tell me it's sitting in your desk or something. Callie Sonoda, volunteer handler. Mm-hmm. Recruits. Oh, damn. Seriously, this feels like a boss fountain. There's like a lot of ammo they're giving me.
I don't know how anybody volunteers to live in a place like this.
This whole place reminds me too much of my own incarceration, to be honest.
Yes, let's not forget that the vicar did serve prison time. Shampoo bottle. But that's fine. Taste the freedom. Now with extra added artificial ingredients at no extra cost. Anything in here? Woofa.
This is your time to shine. Whatever you also remember, compliance with all instructions from facility personnel is stipulated in the contract.
Yeah, this place is a fucking nightmare. I don't know how great it was before, but this place is a nightmare now. It's great. That one was alert.
Beginning security patrol.
Oh, that's great.
Go up, steal it!
Drop kick! He got back up.
You guys see that?
Oh, was that the same? That was not the same guy. Never mind. Huh. We are still going with the main quest here, and afterwards we'll clean up by tagging the other two quests and finding the items we're missing if we don't stumble upon them first. Anything in these lockers? No, they're just decoration. Anything over here? Yes, indeed. Seriously, they are giving me... They're giving me too much stuff. Like, they get 60 bullets. I know, like, this isn't a horror game, so they're not like, oh, yeah, you need to, like, preserve ammo and shit. Like, but still. Hack 150. Enter testing supervisor's password. I will try and find that, then. Ooh.
Welcome, volunteers. Here you will be demonstrating key life skills. As in any work environment, inattentiveness can have disastrous consequences. Any accidents will negatively impact your chances of completing the volunteer program.
suppose the purpose of all this was?
It says hysterical, but I'm like, the dude's just chilling on a wall. And how hysterical is he really?
Want to try me? We are just that good.
Anything up here? There's a box over there I can go get. What the fuck? What the hell is this?
Under the guidance of a space restricted, we completed a brief practice course. Volunteers are expected to follow all instructions without hesitation. Failure to do so may result in immediate termination. You've made it this far. Keep it up.
What the hell is this? Like, it's a training course. I get that, but like, why is it so clearly evil?
Hear that? Sound like a lamp.
Come out! Come out!
Best there ever was.
And why are you just a marauder? Why did a new enemy type spawn right here? The hell is happening? Oh, visual glitches.
Let's take him down! I've had quite enough of you! Nobody messes with you, boss! Wait!
Yeah, screw it. We're going loud now.
Get them! Another fight on our hands.
Was trying to go quietly, but that wasn't gonna happen, let's face it. What the shit is going on in this place? It's insane. It's great. Okay, there's that. What's down here? Seriously, it seems like they are expecting you to be having much more of a much more problems with this. I'm pretty sure, like, even if I were just going loud, this wouldn't be that much of a problem. Give observation logs. Jesus. Data entry for sanctioned violence. Sure. Subjects C1A through K were given forms and writing implements and instructed to fill them out to corporate standards. Upon completion, forms were placed into an employer-sanctioned shredding device by a technician. Test was then repeated. Observational notes. Volunteer SC1D, Kendall, objected to further testing after completion of second set of forms. Volunteer SC1G after 5th. Volunteer SC1B after 10th. No further objections from remaining volunteers. Volunteer SC1E, Hobbs, was discovered to be functionally illiterate and tagged for early advancement to the second phase of compliance testing. That's strange. They want him to be pushed forward to the second phase. Alright, what the hell are they really doing? Come on. Back to phase 2. Subjects SC5A through K were giving visual demonstrations of multiple physical exercises. Note, thank you, testing assistant Layman. Then instructed to replicate them in accordance with verbal instructions. Subject SC5H complained of physical exhaustion after 5 minutes, missing numerous verbal cues. Subject SC5A, 5E, and 5K failed out at around the 15-minute mark. The test was terminated after 30 minutes as a technician became too hoarse to provide instruction. Phase 3. Subjects are instructed to follow a closed circuit around the perimeter of the testing chamber for the duration of the test. At random intervals, technician is to provide vocal cue to reverse course. Observational notes. Of the 8 test subjects remaining in group SC27, 6 respond to vocal cues. Subject 63D became aggressive and was removed. 63B collapsed 30 minutes into the experiment and was removed. Remaining subjects exhibited compliance with all vocal cues for the remainder of the experiment. Technician's addendum. Observational data compromise due to equipment failure. Technician Embry S. was found incapable of continued operation due to incessant weeping and was withdrawn, flagged for disciplinary measures. Phase 4. Subjects were isolated and instructed to select one member of the experiment group for immediate removal from the volunteer program. A volunteered F. B is unresponsive for duration of testing session. C deliberates for 5 minutes, 36 seconds before volunteering E. D is unable to recall the names and or identification numbers of her fellows, but has volunteered each of them in turn, citing immediate need for additional compound X injections. E volunteered F. F refused to comply for duration of testing. G exhibits extreme confusion and extreme emotional distress and demands morning injection. Technician's addendum. Time as of previous note is 1400 hours. Subject exhibits extreme aggression. Subject terminated. Subject is instructed to fire at shrouded target. One industry standard fashion modeling assistive device. A mannequin. Subject is not informed of nature of target. Observational notes. Subject has fired at target. Auditory reward initiated. Test reset. Subject gets fired at observation window. Automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject is fired at subject other. Automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject is fired at subject other. Automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject is fired at target. Auditory reward initiated. Test reset. Subject refuses to fire. Subject refuses to fire. Subject refuses to fire. Technician's addendum. Subject unresponsive. Test reset. Messages. Incoming messages. From M. Blakesley. Safety reminder. In light of certain incidents, I'd like to remind you all that it is paramount that we follow all Spacer's Choice guidelines regarding safety and security. Yes, you will suffer professional and financial consequences if you are found to be responsible for damaging company property, but here at HIA, inattentiveness and recklessness also endanger highly limited company resources and threaten our overall production schedule. Think about what we are all here to achieve, then consider whether you want to be the one that's let us all down. Luckily, any and all injuries suffered by the volunteers this past week have been minor. All testing will proceed as scheduled. A reminder that all personnel are advised to report to the infirmary if they experience any symptoms listed on the notice LeBlanc provided earlier this month. It is strongly suggested that you use your allotted break to do this, as any losses in productivity will be reflected in your paycheck and or indentureship agreement. From Ruan to Johansson. Just a question. Hey, you and Andre talk about tossballs sometimes, right? Have you noticed anything different about him lately? I'm pretty sure he's been at his desk all night. I was going to congratulate him on his newfound productivity, but I took a look at his reports just now, and some of them have very basic formatting errors. It's not like him at all. Maybe you could ask him about it. If something's wrong with his terminal, he should probably get it taken care of sooner rather than later. Angus Ruan. Spacious Choice Pharmaceutical. Messages outgoing. Oh, hold on. Messages, incoming messages. Resets. If we're going to meet OCI's figures this month, we'll need to double our testing capacity over the next few weeks. To that end, I need everyone in observation to work with disposal to have the preparation time between tests. Have the volunteers exit at a jog if you have to. Just try not to let them see the bodies. Messages. Riri. Hey. Look, Embry lost his head because he couldn't keep up with the work. He was never going to amount to anything, and we all know it. The surprise is that he lasted this long. I don't know why my reports are any of your business to begin with, but I know how to use a damn computer. I bet Weaver put you up to this. I've been working twice as hard as anyone else in this office in the past month, and now she thinks I'm going to outpace her. But maybe it's simpler than that. These emails used to just be a nuisance, and now I'm starting to think maybe your loyalties to some other corporation. Andre Hammond. And let me return to root, and nope. Return to root, messages, outgoing messages. The boss, from Johansson to Hammond. Hey Andre, Dr. Blakesley started to come down here pretty often, usually for the morning shift. She hasn't said anything, just watches us go through the test for a while and then gets up and walks out. Weaver tried to give her a report, I think, but Blakesley gave her a look, that was the end of it. You think we're doing something wrong? You'd tell me if you knew anything, right? I'll split my lunch with you again. Oh, and hey, great game last night, huh? Mantisaurs from Johansson to Sandoval. Yeah, we're going back to mannequins for Phase 5. None of the test subjects felt too torn up about shooting killer bugs from Monarch, I guess. Should make things easier for you over in Disposal, right? The best part is that one of the cages didn't close properly last night, and a couple of the little mantipillars got loose. Who knows where they are by now? Morley had an absolute fit. I don't think he likes bugs. That's it. Nothing super useful there.
Welcome, volunteers. Serious law. Here you will be demonstrating key life skills in a simulated working environment. Welcome, volunteers, to the combat test.
This can't be good.
Ooh, tossball cards. Yeah, it's probably not great. Getting a lot of these friggin' suits. It's very much the color scheme of Nyoka's clothes. mean, I was complaining that I didn't get a, well, we haven't really gotten new armor and stuff, and they gave it to me. It's the first new armor set we've had the entire DLC, and it's not bad. I mean, it starts at the level of... It's pretty good, actually. It starts at this, and I bumped this up a good bit. I'm gonna definitely keep a set 54 for that. That's pretty damn good, too. You know what? I was wrong. I'll fix this up. If I could find a unique new sniper rifle, I'd be set as far as my gear goes until I find something really good. Whoa.
Get out of here, boss. We've seen enough.
Nah, we haven't, bro.
Each discovery is worse than the last. Human depravity knows no bounds, does it?
It really doesn't, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Dizzity damn, yo. Messages. Incoming from Sandoval Bet. I don't want to play anymore. Let's just do our jobs, okay? This week's bet. Alright, my 10 bits are on 52F. I know what you're thinking. He's so skinny. It's got this now. What do you think? No, I'm not talking about the subjects, Vicky. I'm talking about the numbers. I'm keeping track of how many bodies we process every day and every week, and the number fluctuates, but never too much. 1 and 3 and 2 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 2. 1 and 1 and 2. And then 10. Just look at the chart I left on your desk. You can see for yourself there's a pattern. You see it, right? Ah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's right. Every discovery is worse than the last one. So I imagine that's going to be the way out, is the barred door. There's still that thing I couldn't open. Going up. Reach the administrative level, yeah. We got 91 out of 150. Can't do anything with that. Reception. Visitation protocols. Visitation protocols. A human auditing and inquiry facility is a dedicated research facility and houses a considerable quantity of hazardous materials, machinery, and personnel. As such, no external visitors are to be permitted at any time absent express written permission from HIA testing supervisor Dr. Marion Blakesley. If you suspect a visitor does not have the appropriate credentials, please observe the following procedures. Stay calm. Notify nearby security personnel of your suspicions. Wait for the security personnel and or equipment to finish disposing of the visitor. Complete an incident report per official guidelines. Remember to use Spacer's Choice approved formatting and workstation unattended. Leaving your workstation unattended will consider a severe security breach and may result in the fine and or summary termination of your employment with Spacer's Choice. Your supervisor has posted this following addendums. Right, that's the official shit. If we do get visitors, inform me at once if they're from other departments. If it's Dr. Ambrose, don't get in her way, but log her every move. If it's Clarence Mosley, keep him at reception. I'll come down in person to see his log. Or anyone else from Kim turns up. Let them stew at reception, and I'll send Assistant Morley down eventually. Let's see. HIA is on lockdown until further notice. Do not let anyone in the facility until the escaped volunteers are located. I'm going to check volunteer induction for any sign of our fugitives. If you receive any keycard access notifications in the next 20 minutes, ignore them. Okay. Concerns. This isn't about a few volunteers, Morley, and more of a Jesus. More test group 20. Sorry, I'm having a burp. Like, not want to come up properly. Most of test groups SC-22A is already gone. Test subject 17 is nonverbal, but we've had some luck using small amounts of the compound to coax him into testing rooms. To be honest, some of the staff are starting to worry me too. It's not just that ghoul and disposal either. Weaver's convinced that the compound's getting into the ventilation system somehow. I've caught her scrubbing her hands raw at the washing stations. I've tried reciting our safety protocols to her, but it hasn't seemed to help. I'm starting to think she might not be wrong. From Blakesley. Morley, pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something saccharine and noble. Feel free to invent next of kin if there are none on record. Use the cheap paper. Leave the letters on my desk. I'll dispose of them shortly. Termination notice on all. This is a notice to inform all HIA staff the testing associate Angus Ruan is no longer a Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals employee, effective immediately. It has valued members of Spacer's Choice family. I trust that you all will pull together to shoulder Mr. Ruan's responsibilities in his place. From Blakesley, the incident report. Oh, from Morley. Dear Dr. Blakesley, the missing test subject has been found and apprehended. Apparently he got into the testing department where he remained. I'm afraid nobody noticed for several hours. Hennessy had him doing paperwork. I think it's clear at this point that subject SC-44B12 didn't get out on his own. As far as we can tell, he didn't have much of an escape plan. The door was simply unlocked for a short period of time during the night. In the meantime, I've made it clear to the security forces that no further breaches will be tolerated. Return to root. Messages. Archive messages. Delete this. How do I delete this message? Clarence. Latest results are in. As you hoped, you'll find that the violent cases now account for a smaller overall percentage of the testing pool. I expect that will change in about 2 or 3 weeks or so, so you'd better get that report out to Goodfellow in a hurry. In the meantime, closing all the test subjects means that... In the meantime, dosing all the test subject means that HIA is now in the business of generating aggressive psychotics. So, if you could take 2 minutes out of your fundamentally pointless existence to somehow make it clear to Mr. Goodfellow that I need an update on those resources I requested, as well as the matter of additional security, increased oversight at Kim, or any kind of explanation for what the fuck... Messages. I don't see deleted messages. Read me. Morally, if you receive any communications from Dr. Ambrose, ignore them. Also, notify me at once. And don't piss yourself worrying. It won't come up on your assessments. Read it once. Morley, no word from OCI. We'll keep going as we are. Say something to the staff. Break out that list of prepared statements I gave you. I suggest number 4. Remember to smile. I'm heading down to the oversee today's testing personally. Make sure I'm not disturbed. That's it.
Did you enjoy the show? I didn't. You should have left Gorgon in his grave, where it belongs. Now I'm afraid I have to find a more permanent way to put you down.
If this person is spending so much time watching us, where will they find the time to plot their diabolical machinations that will spell our doom?
Are we being stalked? Is that what's going on? Because I don't mind having secret admirers and all, but this is getting a little creepy.
No one secretly admires you, Felix. You fucking shitheel. Shock and awe. Ooh, damn. What are we rocking here? Soft speaker. This is better. Felix, what's your... Yeah, I'll keep you with the softball. And I like you with the telescoping king. You never use it anyway, so fuck it. Edmund, messages. Incoming messages. Marion, it's been 3 weeks. Where the fuck are the reports from HIA? Deliver them to me by the end of the day, or deliver me your letter of resignation. I'm done asking. In the future, you will send me bi-weekly reports of HIA's status. These reports will include an inventory of test subjects, which version of the Gorgon compound they have been administered, how frequently those administrations have occurred, and who has been administering them. To these reports, you will amend a mortality record. The record will include an accounting of the burn-down rate of our current stack of volunteers and compound ampules. In addition to a thorough analysis of their injuries, I want to see charts, Mary. Big fucking charts with lots of precious little numbers. And before you ask, bi-weekly means twice a week. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. From Ollie. To Blakesley from Ambrose. From Ollie Ambrose. Marion. Personalize and forward the following note to the families of the deceased volunteers. Take carbon copies and send those on to Lucien at the usual address. Make certain he gets every single one. Ollie. Dear... It is with regret that I write to inform you of the death of your relation... blank. They died peacefully, attended by their fellows. Please accept our sympathies in this difficult time, though it may offer you little comfort. Know that your relation died in service of a better, more productive Halcyon, in accordance with agreement, blank, signed with Tartarus Corrections, a division of United Defense Logistics. Their term of incarceration is now considered complete. Sincerely, Dr. Olivia Ambrose. Back to incoming. That's fine. Outgoing. Good fellow. Yes, many of the subjects were still exhibited increased energy levels and compliance, the same euphoric response, but they inevitably crash. Testing clearly suggests that Kim's Compound X has extreme and irreversible effects when administered repeatedly over a long period of time. Several volunteers in the old SCO2 group are barely verbal. When they do speak, it's to beg for more of the compound. I'm finding it hard to shine that up for you, Lawrence. So good you'll beg for more? Don't you dare use that. If we could dilute the compound or even ease out the schedule, we could mitigate some of the addictive effects. Weaning some of the earlier test subject off the compound might buy some time until Kim refines the formula. I need time, Lawrence. From Marion Blakesley. From Blakesley to Morley. Morley, I need you to compile some of the test subjects from the past month. Pull a subset from the reports we forwarded to OCI if you like, so long as there are charts. Make sure the worst of the mortality reports are up front, will you? Testing Group SC-82. From Blakesley to the testing labs. At the behest of the Office of Creative Incubation, we are applying varying amounts of unknown solutions to test subjects that are already mid-treatment. What organizational schema do you imagine would miraculously restore scientific rigor to this process? Stick to the current system. And condolence letters. From Blakesley to Morley. Morley, pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something saccharine and noble. Feel free to invent kin if there are none. Blah, blah, blah. Use cheap paper. We already read this. Messages. Archive messages. Resignation. From Blakesley to Bancroft. Lucian, I'm leaving. This message to inform you of my resignation from the position of testing supervisor at Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals, effective immediately. I won't be returning to headquarters, and I wouldn't bother chasing that tracking signal unless you want to give the boys and girls in human resources some exercise. I'll warn you once, do not try and find me, Dr. Marion Blakesley. And let's delete the messages, shall we? From Olivia Ambrose to Marion Blakesley. Marion. Cancel all the letters. If they've been hand-delivered, send someone to retrieve them. Security trumps sentiment. Don't ever let me do anything so indulgent again. From Ambrose to Blakesley. Marion, I see now why you held back your reports. Strangulation, attempted disemboweling, blunt force trauma to the head with a bedpan. It's just not that volunteer deaths are up, but that the ways in which they're dying are appalling. This is unconscionable, an unmitigated disaster. Cease administration of the compound immediately. I'll take this to our liaison, Lucian. Surely when I show him these results, he'll understand that we can't take this product to market as it currently stands. Delete this. From Blakesley to Morley. How do I delete this message? Yeah, we already read this one. Let's return to root. Admin functions. Synthesis and manufactory center status. Executive lockdown must be overridden at the Chem Lab. Alright. We've sent the lockdown over a...
Oh. I fear that I will become numb to these incessant horrors.
They did here was inexcusable.
This place was a nightmare. But people wake up from nightmares. Those test subjects never woke up at all.
They knew. They knew Adrena Time did this, yet still released it. All to serve their inexhaustible greed.
Somehow this doesn't surprise me.
Every time I think I've seen the worst thing Spacer's Choice could ever do, they find a way to surprise me.
I hope this journal holds what many suspects it does, but I'm starting to have doubts that it will exonerate her mother.
Let's get back to finding the journal. I'm so enthralled with the story that I kind of keep forgetting that we're looking for a journal. Okay, speaking of... Yeah, we're clearly not going with that. Yeah, we need to get to the maintenance entrance.
All I want to do right now is burn this place to the ground. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks.
Oh, either way, I gotta go out here. Alright, let's retrieve our 2 bits of this quest and call it a day. I don't think the next location is going to be that cool. That was awesome. I want to point out, I still have yet to actually fight a mantisaur of any kind. I found a dead one, and they look cool. Birdie's research site. Let's see. 30. Son of a bitch!
All right, Birdie Sharp. Where'd you leave your comic book?
Right here. The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, issue number 3. We're not going to read that yet. Birdie. Lord damn it, Birdie, what did I tell you about pestering Maurice? He's not interested. If you scare him off the project, you're gone. I don't care if you're my kid's sister. We need his research. I don't need you. Got it? Good. I took a look at the preliminary schedule you sent over. You got all the tasks tracked, but the timing is off. For one thing, you have me finishing the metal casings fabrication after the package is supposed to be complete. Find me at my workstation in the mines near the OCI when you get off shift. I'll go over the rest of my criticisms in person. By the marvelous mustache of Excelsior. Gil. P.S. How long do we have to keep saying that? It's ridiculous. Alright. Oh. Alright, that's that. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's annoying. Whatever, I had to go outside just to get that thing anyway. Oh, I need to get better headphones. Alright, where for tell are we going? Not that one, but that one. Sealed, sealed. That's not a real door.
As in any work environment, inattentiveness can have disastrous consequences.
The drug's not ready for release yet. Side effects are immaterial.
So it's dangerous. Perhaps it results in some thrilling mutations. Forearms, maybe? Or a second head?
Try delusion, paranoia, gastric bleeds, violence, and fatal insomnia. Shall I enumerate every way our volunteers have died? Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
Cut the recording, Georgie.
You sure, boss? I just put on a new cylinder. Stroke, spontaneous combustion, internal exsanguination.
Just turn it off.
It's bad. It's a bad time. What the shit? Is that everything in here before I leave? I never did find that that key card. I don't think. Try passkey, technician's key card. Fine. Okay. So I still can't get into the chem lab. I don't know if I can get into the OCI projector room. Synthesis and Manufacturing Observatory. And Gorgon Mines. Okay. See. Don't know what that one is. Where's the other one? Supposed to be 2. Alright, it's probably the mines. That's OCI. Guess let's go to the lower exterior then. So I need to be looking that way. It's up. How do I get up? Let's find out how to get them ups. Wish that I knew I had to use the upper one. Would have ported to the upper one. And I can't Skyrim my way up there.
This will be over quickly, boss. Fritz!
You are a durable son of a bitch. Holy crap, that motherfucker was durable for some reason. I don't really need to be here. Just trying to figure out how to get ups. So I go there. Ooh. Mantisaur.
quite a team, my friend.
Shiver pillar.
Marauders. Just about every corner of Halcyon's infested with them.
There's something different about these Magosaurs. Never seen their like before.
They're Frostosaurs. Got the mines. So now I can fast travel to there. But still need to find out how to get ups. Bestow unto me such mad ups. Pardon me. Seriously, I love the music in here. Ups can be achieved. Yep, still not there. But we've got 2 down. Whoa, what is that? I've never seen that before. And clearly it's a loading circle, but like, I have nope. I've straight up never seen that in this game. You know what? I guess I'm glad it did that as opposed to just straight up freezing. Or what am I trying to say here? As opposed to... What am I hearing? Sounds like primals. Oh, nope, canids.
Here we go.
Canids are fine.
That's the last of them.
That would explain why I couldn't move for a sec there. I was up against a bench. Now I do believe I am over encumbered. Oh, nope. I was negatively affected by something. that being said, I definitely could use a, vending machine right about now. Kind of overloaded with stuff. I will say I'm glad that they're overloading me with ammo and not, like, healing items. I'm getting a lot of, like, food and Adrena time, but they're not, like, giving me a ridiculous amount of Adreno. Okay, how do I get up more? This must be... Fuck! Didn't see it. Alright, now I know to be on the lookout.
Well, this is downright unneighborly.
Laying down traps is one thing, but this is just rude.
We call them marauders, like they have some kind of group identity. They don't. The name was coined in Edgewater, I think. One of the towns first hit by the Adrenatime crisis. A lonely spacer's choice outpost on the edge of a barren sea. A prime place for the company to test a disastrous new product. When the town started fraying at the edges, hardly anyone else in the colony noticed. Just like Lucian planned. I read the reports. Every missing person. Every unexpected death. A town already teetering on the edge, and Adrenatime shoved it off a cliff.
Like an observatory to me. There's got to be a clue around here somewhere.
Yep. And I'm gonna grab it. Just a moment. As soon as I finish taking care of all this. Even though it's really still not super necessary, I do kind of wish that I had a flashlight. Just something I could, like, temporarily turn on and off. Alright. Maurice, I have made my peace with the chemical waste pit. It is where I belong, I think. With the refuse and the dregs. The surface is distant to me, as distant as the cold stars, as distant as you are, and the rest of them. How do you fare, Maurice, up on your vaulted perch, When the shadow of the manufactory crown falls upon you in your fine telescope, do you think of me down here in the dark? Do any of you? My isolation has become the fruit, has borne fruit. Propane, butane, ethane, these wild gases visit me in my dreams. They shift and morph, compress and expand. Gas now, then liquid, then gas again. They've whispered to me the trick of their metamorphosis, and I have bottled it as they taught me. They whispered to me the trick of their metamorphosis, and I have bottled it as they taught me. Come down from the shadow of the manufactory, Maurice, down to the ravine, and they will teach you their trick too. Let us at last complete the package, that I might finally ascend. All glory to the PET, Eustace. And all I have left is the mines. Dare I? Dare I? Son of a bitch. I need to check my, what my carrying capacity is at right now. Well, my inventory weight, anyway. As if need be, I'll just break down a bunch of the weapons I have. Been putting them in junk and just selling them, but... along with all the adrenatime I keep finding. Yeah, if you use adrenatime, like, good God, this is the place for you. Alright, back I go.
This is like that scene from Terra Monarch, where Spencer Woolrich gets buried alive.
Did the temperature just drop, or is it my imagination?
Nah, bro.
Quietly now.
Raise your head.
On your back, Captain.
Ooh, that had to hurt.
Some stuff on the other side of there.
Score one for Felix.
Yeah, you. Gloop gun. Felix, I don't necessarily know that you're doing any damage to them. I've never actually used that gun. I always give it to one of you guys. Just knowing that I'm going to give myself all the most powerful guns anyway. So yeah, sure. Float them away, sir. Okay, nothing over here. Good to know. Dead mantisaur. Bunch of dead mantisaurs.
around the corner?
Yeah, kinda. Wondering why there are a bunch of dead mantisaurs here. Yeah,
I
give
figured
me.
the mines were gonna be trouble. Didn't think they'd be crawling with mants. Must have gotten out of HIA a while ago.
Oh, it's lucky.
They've been busy here. Something about the tunnels here gets under your skin and into the worst parts of your head. Makes you feel not yourself. In case I don't make it out of here. Marauders. Must have followed me from OCI. Time to make tracks while the mants are busy. I'm shedding some extra weight. It's yours if you find it. Whoever you are. You need to...
On we go!
Shedding some extra weight. It's yours if you find it. Whoever you are. You need it more than I do now.
Hmm. $248 out of $250. What are we looking at here? Yeah, no, I'm on weight problem. I got it. Do some evaluation real quick. Coolant distributor. There's a miner. What else you got here? Accident report. Gorgon mines. Minecart derailed from the cargo track during transport, falling a significant distance before striking the ground with considerable force, spilling its cargo and damaging the unit. Cause. Worker inability to appropriately manage spatial location, remain cognizant of environmental hazards. Damages. Loss of one minecart. Delay in Compound X delivery. Loss of this branch of cargo track expected to create significant additional delays. Recommended switching to new mining location to minimize delays and loss of productivity. No resources available to allocate to track repair or site cleanup at this time. Additional hazards posed. Slippage, human bodily fluids, potential decrease in employee morale. Additional recommended actions. Summon garbage processing officer to waste removal. They are Earlier, he doesn't deal with liquids, so that wasn't going to happen. Shut down mine track associated with the site until such time as repairs can be made. Relocate mining operations to another active site. Increase all mine workers' shifts to maintain current level of productivity. Consider placing cones around wet surfaces. Good. Good. Okay. So, let's, coolant distributor. What are we looking at here? That's cool looking. There's no pun intended there. Some engineers have suggested that modifying a weapon for use as an engine maintenance tool is a bad idea. Some engineers lack imagination. Actually, I need to take that scythe back. So I need to figure out what am I toting that is worth the least that I can get rid of. How much are these? $19. I can just straight up scrap these. What is this? $23? Garbage. $49? Garbage. 34, 60, 31. What are you? Nah, those are useful. 56, 53. All right, 98. 68. There we go. Oh God, I'm already at 25 Adrena time again. Like, I'm not trying to collect it. Good lord, am I over encumbered again? Yes, I'm over encumbered again, but it's fine now.
I hope whoever manned this post liked dank isolation.
I guess they did. Alright, so we're going to read that in a minute. Virgil, making progress on the grav plating for the package, though not nearly as fast as you'd like. Given the spin rate of Gorgon, the anomaly I've been observing is only present in the sky 3 hours of every 24. Doesn't help that I have to readjust my telescope every couple of minutes to keep tabs on the slippery bastard. Come by my workstation outside the manufactory dome when you've got a minute. The data this thing is throwing off is strange as all get out. Be ashamed to compromise the package with a misplaced zero, right? By the way, I checked on Eustace. The fumes aren't doing him any favors. We ought to get him out of there as soon as we can. How's your sister coming with the schedule? By the marvelous mustache of Excelsior, Maurice. P.S. You've got to tell Barry to stop bringing me food. If I have to eat another damn can of salt tuna fillets, I'm going to hurl. Okay. So now I have an option. I have a perk point available. I can just obtain some extra weight, and that'll be fine. Or I can unlock the ability to fast travel when encumbered. I'm gonna just go ahead and take the extra weight. And that should suit me just fine. Now let's head back to the meeting spot and see what all of this quest was for. We've been doing it for a while now. We're just going to fast travel to the upper exterior so we don't have to do the whole roundabout thing again. It's a schlep, you know. There we go. I don't know how much time that saved us, but I'm going to say at least a minute or so. Alright. Oh, and we should actually go ahead and read. Logs. We need 1 of 4. The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and the Plague of Mantimen, issue 1 of 4. A comic from the cult classic Ace Exterminator series, tragically canceled after its brief 4-issue run. Scribbled in felt tip on the comic's spine is the word "speak." In the inaugural issue, newly minted hero Archibald Excelsior is dispatched to the cloud cities of Olympus to put down a plague of ravenous Mantimen, intent on taking the cities for their own. Mantim Mastermind pits his second-in-command, renowned Spindle Knight Sysak Sassafras against Excelsior in a hand-to-claw combat. Just when Excelsior appears to have invested his insectile foe, with the help of his handy PET, his eye is caught by Isabella Femme Fatale, Mantim Mastermind's dancing queen. Will our mustachioed hero survive this brush with the Spindle Knight and with love? Oh, it's fine, 2. The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and Attack of the Crystal Canids, issue 2 of 4. Scribbled in felt tip on the comic spine is the word friend. After his run-in with the Dancing Queen, proven hero Archibald Excelsior is mending his broken heart in the glitzy city of Fairview when a horde of vicious crystal canids escaped from the laboratory of an evil, unemployed scientist. As the canids turn the city to ash with their plasma beam eyes, Excelsior descends into the depths of the lab to put down the leader of the pack, King Alpha. The king connives to sabotage Excelsior's trusty PET, and our hero is forced to fight with only a weapon in his reach, the skull of King Alpha's own mother, Empress Crystalline Alpha. Will our mustachioed hero escape the king's jaws and heal his wounded heart? Number 3. The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and the Invasion of the Flesh-Eating Sprats. Issue number 3 of 4. Scribbled in felt tip is the comic spine is the word "and." After pacifying the canid threat, rejuvenated hero Archibald Excelsior is deployed to the subterranean metropolis of Hephaestus to quell the rise of supervillainous a cappella group, the Sprat Pack, when a new foe arrives to stop him. Buff Hardman, acquisitions agent of Super Deck Reclamation, will stop at nothing to acquire Hephaestus Mining's productive corporate enclave for his shadowy shipping concern. When Excelsior interferes with Hardman's plans to mind control the Sprat Pack, Hardman turns his dastardly mind control ray on Excelsior. Will our mustachioed hero free his mind from Hardman's power with his newly healed heart intact? And finally, The Exhilarating Adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and the Colossus Beneath Tartarus. Scribbled in felt tip on the comic spine is the word "enter." After narrowly escaping the clutches of nefarious Agent Buff Hardman, wounded hero Archibald Excelsior has a heart in turmoil, a broken PET, and no time to rest, because an ancient colossus slumbering beneath the crust of the prison planet Tartarus arises and hungers for the flesh of thousands. As the Colossus lays waste to the maximum security penitentiary, Excelsior's nemesis Hardman returns to haunt him. Now Excelsior must face down two devilish foes at once as lava encroaches on all sides. Excelsior's odds look grim until a chance lightning strike ignites the PET and gives the Ace Exterminator a fighting chance. Will our mustachioed hero slay the giant and finally mend his broken heart? And that's it. So, speak friend and enter. Enter the true friend password. True fan password. One final test awaits thee, fair traveler. You must complete the test to prove your bona fides, but worry not, it should be simple for a true fan of Archibald Excelsior. In Issue 1, The Plague of the Manta Men, what was the name of the Manta Mastermind second-in-command whom Archibald defeated in hand-to-claw combat? Why, that would be Sysax Sassafras, Spindle Knight of Olympus. In Issue 2, Attack of the Crystal Canids, what improvised weapon did our illustrious leader Archibald Excelsior use to exterminate King Alpha? Hairpin belonging to his adoptive daughter, Virginia Yang, girl detective? His best friend Frankie Gatt, the living gun? Why, none other than... Oh, man. Want to execute villain protocol? It's the skull of King Alpha's own mother. Correct, 3 of 4. In Invasion of the Flesh-Eating Sprats, Agent Buff Hardman foiled Archibald's heroic plan to liberate the underground metropolis of Hephaestus from the Sprat Pack by doing what? Switching Archibald into dastardly mind control ray, breaking the dam in Lava River, or slathering the Sprat Pad Nanti Cleo skin hardening metallysis gel. I was tricking Archibald. Man, I want to do that. This is Mind Ray. And in the Colossus Beneath Tartarus, how did Archibald ignite his signature weapon, the PET, and put the titular giant down for good? With Last Spacer's Corona cigarette? With the muzzle flash from his pistol, the Vermin, which is the gun I'm using? Or with a bolt of lightning from above? The passage is unbarred. Enter as brother or sister, Birdie, for you are now a certified genuine super science sidekick. Congratulations.
This has to be the place. I know a fan club when I see one.
I'm sure you do, you fucking nerd. Let's see. Bijou Review, starring Edith. What we got here? Alright, got some ammo, got a music box, energy cell, mag pick, and some more stuff. I'm purposefully ignoring it. Wow, 2200. broken monitor, and this thing. The PET. What the shit is this? It's a science weapon. This lovingly handcrafted replica energy axe bears a striking resemblance to the pest extermination tool wielded by pulp legend Archibald Excelsior. With his famed PET in hand, this inimitable Excelsior exterminated the plague of Mantaman, a horde of crystal canids, the pack of supervillainous singing sprats, and a molten giant the size of a mountain, all while nursing a broken heart. Only a true fan could have crafted such an improbable weapon. Good. Good. I finally picked this weapon up, and I thought that this was just a normal weapon you were going to find because it's on the freaking art of the game, the art of the DLC. I didn't realize that it was... I do dislike that it is auto-defaulting me to a Brave New World. I'm clearly not going to a Brave New World. So I can't get into a chem lab, so that's going to be our next trick. But for now, I need... I need some vending machines so I can get rid of this. Whoa! Auntie Cleo's exciting adventures, Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, Plague of the Mantaman, Attack the Crystal Canids, Invasion of the Man-Eating Sprats, and... Oh, that's the skeleton that's on the big in the ravine. That's great. Dude, these are great. I want to read this. Also, this weapon is ridiculous, by the way. Just as a... Like... I just want to equip this. Jeez. This weapon is ridiculous. I was going to give that to Nyoka, but I actually might use that. No, I'm not gonna. I will just instead leave that slot open, because I'm not really... I'm gonna just keep it. I'll give it to Nyoka eventually, but like, I'm gonna keep it for now. She can have this. I'm gonna upgrade that and just I'm gonna keep it. Just this weapon is ridiculous. Holy shit, this weapon is ridiculous. When I'm not using it anymore, I'm gonna give it to Nyoka. I need to just give it to her. Like, I just need to give it to her. She's... Jesus. What is she equipped with? This is clearly gonna be a her weapon. What is with the... Oh my god, this weapon is nuts. What are you wielding? You got the Purple Berry Crunch. Jeez and shit. Thing does 474 damage? Holy crap. Oh, I didn't need this after all 4. That does 348 as it is. Oh, yeah, poor body. Yeah, why not? just pump it all the way up. $357 as opposed to $348. And that's not upgraded at all. Good God, that does so much damage. I'm gonna need to do some tests. Like, can I can make it more powerful. Just for fun. It's max. Jesus. That is obscene. Okay, what do we have here? Ellie is good on things. Is she? It's a science weapon. I'm gonna leave her with the science weapon. She also has a science weapon, and that's fine. Yeah, I'll just give her that. It's not as powerful, but it's unique. I like my people all having unique stuff. She's got 2 science weapons, and he's got that. And I can't change Sam's stuff. So there's nothing I can do with that. That's a bummer. Alright.
I've shut off the visual feed from my ocular inputs in the captain's quarters, so you're free to disrobe whenever you'd like.
Thank you, I suppose. Keep that. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna look into this. Because I mean, I was complaining that I needed better options for armor. I spent a lot of money upgrading the weapons. But that's okay. That is okay. You know what? I'm going to tinker around with this stuff for a while and go run some damage tests off cam. This was productive. We did a lot. Next stream, we will start off in Olympus. We're going to go to Olympus. To an Anti-Cleos facility. So, I will see you guys next time. And thanks a lot for watching. My enjoyment has been so much better on this episode. This has been great. Catch you next time.